In the chaos of World War II, intelligence officers didn't just run, hide, or shoot. They disappeared. Not with smoke bombs or high-tech gadgets, just fabric, dust, and an uncanny understanding of human perception. This wasn't espionage theater. It was survival. One slip, one wrong move, and it could mean death. But those who mastered this method became ghosts, slipping through streets, ruins, and checkpoints without ever being noticed. Today, that same principle can teach us something vital about visibility, survival, and the raw psychology of perception. World War II spies realized early on that running faster didn't save you. Hiding in corners didn't save you either. Survival came from blending in, dissolving into the environment around you so thoroughly that people didn't see you, even if you were standing right in front of them. This skill was called the blend and break method, and it wasn't flashy. It was brutally effective. The first secret is deceptively simple. Your body gives you away. Humans are wired to recognize shapes. Shoulders, torso, head, arms. They form a natural silhouette that the brain picks out instantly. Colors matter far less than shape. Field agents knew this instinctively. To vanish, they had to destroy their outline before worrying about anything else. They didn't aim to look cool or mysterious. A jacket draped unevenly, a scarf hanging off one shoulder, or a small bundle of fabric tied awkwardly could scramble the human form enough to confuse the eye. Break the symmetry, and suddenly, the brain struggles to categorize you as a person. This principle works in crowded city streets, alleyways, or any cluttered environment. It's a lesson every modern survivalist, prepper, or history enthusiast can put into action. Disrupt your natural outline first, and the world will often overlook you. After breaking the outline, color becomes critical, but not in the way most people imagine. Fabric rarely matches the ground, walls, or surroundings perfectly. Enter dust, dirt, powdered brick, coal residue, even chalk. Spies rubbed it into their clothes until the shine disappeared and the contrast muted. This wasn't painting yourself, it was neutralizing what caught the eye unnaturally. Imagine walking into a barn, a construction site, or an abandoned alley. Everything has the same tired, matte look. Nothing stands out. That's what World War II operatives recreated on their own bodies. A clean jacket in that setting screams human here, but dust it up, dull it down, and suddenly it blends into the chaos. Modern snipers still follow the same principle. They rub local soil into their gear to mute reflections. The science hasn't changed. Our eyes and brains are still wired to notice what's out of place. Vanishing isn't just about how you look. Behavior is equally crucial. Field operatives didn't freeze like statues. They moved like everyone else. In cities under occupation, this meant walking with a weary, forward-leaning posture. In rural or field zones, it meant adjusting stride, posture, and the way they carried objects to match locals. They weren't camouflaging with paint. They were camouflaging with motion. You can test this yourself at a crowded market or bus stop. Just step slightly off the group's rhythm, walk a bit faster or slower, and, well, all eyes notice you immediately. But if you step into their rhythm, mirror their posture, match their pace, suddenly, you're invisible. Not literally, of course, but perceptually, you're gone. The human brain just skips over those who move like they belong. This is where World War II fieldcraft becomes timeless. Invisibility is as much a psychological trick as it is a visual one. Even when streets were empty, spies had ways to vanish. They turned debris into allies. A torn sack could mimic a pile of harvested grain. Strips of cloth dusted with soil became convincing fieldworker wraps. Scattered rubble could be turned into camouflage by matching clothing texture and color to the environment. One Allied operative recounted lying beside a collapsed wall, cloak dusted in powdered mortar, as a patrol walked within 5 meters without a hint of recognition. It worked because it wasn't artificial. It matched the surroundings. The key lesson here is simple. Match what already exists. Observing textures, colors, and objects in your environment gives you a blueprint for blending in. Gravel, dry grass, concrete, rusted metal, and soil all have visual patterns that can be echoed in clothing or fabric to reduce visibility dramatically. The principles are straightforward, but they really do require discipline. Start with your outline. Shift jackets, drape scarves, distort your symmetry. Next, mute colors using the local dust or soil. And finally, observe the environment's textures and movement and mirror them. For a practical exercise, walk into a wooded area or maybe an urban alley in your regular street clothing. Take note of how visible you are. Now rub a bit of soil or dust into your clothes, shift a shirt or scarf to one side, lower your posture just a bit, and stand near some natural cover like brush, rubble, or even logs. Have someone observe you from just a short distance. You'll be amazed at how quickly you disappear. Not because you're hiding, but because your body, your clothing, and your behavior no longer signal human to the observer's brain. The genius of this World War II method is its reliance on human perception, not technology. You see, perception hasn't evolved nearly as much as weapons or gadgets have. The blend and break method worked back then because the brain fills in gaps, ignores low-contrast shapes, and prioritizes movement over detail. And, well, it works now for exactly the same reason. Anyone who masters it gains a tactical advantage in survival, observation, or even just staying unnoticed in a crowd. This isn't magic. It isn't Hollywood. It's a raw, field-tested survival tactic that teaches a simple truth. Invisibility isn't about tools. It's about understanding and exploiting human perception. If you found this guide valuable, and you want more World War II fieldcraft, forgotten survival techniques, and in-depth analysis that turns history into practical skills, subscribe to History's Survival Code. Share this with someone who appreciates real survival wisdom and history delivered without shortcuts. Master this, and you'll walk into any environment with confidence, because sometimes the deadliest skill is simply being unseen.